Okay. You're getting closer to freedom in a way you think, but actually you are free right now. What must you do to be free? Absolutely nothing. How do you like that? Everything you're doing is in the wrong direction. Everything you're doing is trying to keep the body surviving. How do you get to the place where you do nothing? Anybody know?
Start now. Start now.
No, how do you get there? By getting the mind quiet. The mind pushes you into action. How do you get the mind quiet? By releasing the motivators of the mind, the feelings. Thank you. Isn't that easy? Isn't that simple? It's very easy, and it's very simple. But what are you doing? You're insisting on holding on to the limitations of wrongly thinking that you are the body. The body is the least of you. Your beingness is the all of you. And in your beingness you set up the mind which sets up the body. And as long as you are confined to a body, that's how big your infinity concept of you is. You are infinite right now, unlimited. If you think you're this body, you take the tremendous unlimited being that you are and imagine that you're confined to this encasement called the body. So to go free, to be unlimited, requires doing absolutely nothing. Because you are free right now. However, what you are doing is trying to remove the obstacles, the blinders to seeing that fact, that you are your beingness. You are not the body, you are not the mind, you are your beingness. So I set up a chart here to delineate it so that you may better be able to see where it is you are on the elimination of the blinders. And by so doing, expedite the eliminating of the obstacles, the blinders, the thoughts, the mind, the feelings. I think identifying where you are is a big help to moving you on further. Alright? The one and only, number one, you are your beingness. I don't think anyone would deny being. Number two, part of you, your mind. your programs and their thoughts. Of course, your programs are your feelings. And number 3, your mind says you are the body and related to the world and a victim of it. And it's actually your mind that creates the world. It's only in your mind that you see the world. It's only in your mind that you see yourself as you are. It's only in your mind that you see all your relationships. Eliminate that. Your beingness is left over. You become very self-obvious to yourself that I have always been my beingness, deluded into thinking I was the mind-body. So the number 1 is you, the real changeless you that never ever changes. Your beingness will never ever change. It's eternal. And 2 and 3 is the ego. You, the personality, you, your name, your place in the world, etc., etc., etc. So, in this realm, you develop 3 states. Being, doing, having in the world. Most of us are in the havingness state. It says here, having is your bank book and possessions. And you can see by those who keep getting more and more, ridiculously more and more and more. Now the only thing that can give those individuals who get up that far is more trouble. Because they're looking for the security in what they've got. And instead of getting it more, they're actually feeling less secure because there are more and more others who want to take it away from them. However, if we are in the havingness, it's a forward step to move up to doingness, to be a doer, a winner, a master in the world. But much better than being a master in the world and being a victim of it, if you're mastering it, it's mastering you. Identify with your being only, and that's the ultimate state. No one and no thing can ever disturb you again. You're free. You're identifying with your beingness, and all that externality has no effect upon you. Imperturbability is a top free state. Now to get there, you must have desirelessness, because desire equals lack. When you're at the top, you are the all. There is nothing lacking. There's nothing that could not be had by a mere effortless thought. But as long as you desire, you want. As long as you want, you're lacking. And that's your program making it that way. when you're at the top, everything happens effortlessly. Effortlessness is another word that describes the top state in this world. Your whole life should just drop into your lap with no effort. And when you're in that state, you feel actionless because you are witnessing rather than being the doer. You are watching, seeing everything happening, and you need to do nothing. It happens. It falls into your lap. In the same way you create $1 is the exact same way you create $1 billion. It's only thought. So you can see the extreme negative programs you've imposed upon yourself that keeps you struggling in a world so unnecessarily. So what do you have to do? Totally quiet the mind until there are no thoughts. What does that feel like? It just comes from your intuition. It comes from your center. You no more use your mind, which is a limitation, but you can communicate. And you do communicate perfectly. When you're coming from your intuition, you're always 100% correct. Always 100% correct when you're coming from your intuition. Because you're coming from your beingness, which is all-knowing, all-powerful, all-perfect. So when there are no thoughts, you're intuitive only. You are not using the mind. You have dropped the mind. And you do not identify with your body or mind. Because you see that you are the all, coming down a step, because you see that you are the creator of everything you see and experience, including this whole world, including the universe, is your creation. It's in your mind, and that's where it is. Because you create the universe and separate it into so many parts, and then think you're the body-mind, you develop attachments and aversions to the body-mind world. So in the free state, you have no attachments and no aversions. Everything is A-OK all the time as you're moving in the world. You can go through your business, you can go through your family relationships, and when you have no attachments and no aversions, you're imperturbable. And of course you recognize you have everything. Why? It's your creation. It's your mentation. Again, you've lost sight of that. You're in a long time terrible habit of thinking you're limited. And all you need to do is to get rid of only 3 feelings, which you're not doing nearly fast enough. You're doing it, but not nearly fast enough. How long should it take you to get rid of all your wanting approval and control? It takes exactly as long as you make it take. If you wanted to rid yourself of approval and control, you would do it in weeks, at most months. And when that's out of the way, you're able to confront the bottom line, the fear of dying, which is that severe attachment to the body. And it's only a matter of weeks of letting the fear of dying up and letting it out, that all that suppressed programming is gone. And with no more suppressed programming, you naturally identify with your beingness. So again, what's needed? It's so simple. Rid yourself of the fear of dying, and you're free. But you need to rid yourself of wanting approval and control before that. Until you release appreciably on approval or control, you won't be able to confront your fear of dying. It's so deep, it's so heavy inside of you. And instead of scratching for little things here and there, you will have everything. Try to be and act as though you're in that top state. Constantly identify with your beingness, are you? Mm-hmm. How many times a day do you keep saying, I am? But all day long you're saying, I'm this frail body. I am my beingness should be the 24-hour a day sense, feeling in you. And when you're there, it's a sense of I beingness. There's just an I there. I. Not I, Lester, body, mind. Just I. When you're at the top, you have a sense of I only. If you try to play act that now, it'll help you move in that direction. And when you're up there, you're not the doer. So try to be not the doer. Let the world happen. It'll do much better than you will do with it if you let it happen. And there's only one single happiness in this universe. It's when you are identifying and being your beingness. So, in your behavior, make it a habit to take all your happiness from you. It isn't the movie, the TV, the person, the object that makes you happy. It's when you let go of your desire for it and your mind goes quiet and you identify with your beingness that you feel joy. Once you catch that point, you'll stop wasting time looking for joy in the world. All it does is give you misery. The only joy there is when you're identifying with your beingness. How many people have not seen that yet? That there's one single joy. It's your beingness.
If I saw it, I'd be up there with you.
No, you can see it and then not see it. When you get quiet, you can see it. You're in your highest state. There's nothing you have to do to be your beingness. And it's the greatest joy there is. But haven't you seen that when you satisfy a desire, your mind goes quiet, and you're being, and that's the joy. You haven't seen that?
I've seen my beingness. I've seen the joy, but I never quite see it as a desire being satisfied. I haven't quite, you know what I mean? I know the mind goes quiet, but I don't see it as...
I'll get more practical. What's the greatest quieter of your mind? The orgasm.
What about it?
Am I correct?
You're correct.
Are you thinking about the world problems during the orgasm?
No.
How are you going to make a living?
No.
You're not thinking. It quiets the greatest number of unsatisfied desires and gives you the greatest quietude of your mind. And you're just being. Am I making sense to you?
Yes, yes.
Why not just be all the time instead of creating lack, desire, satisfying it to get a moment's joy out of the basic joy that is you, your beingness. I still say it's simple and easy. What's difficult is trying to get it where you cannot in the world. That's difficult. So difficult it's impossible. Keeps you scratching, struggling, fighting day in and day out. Never winning. No one ever wins in the world. Everyone draws a blank, everyone dies. Until they let go of looking for it in the world and discover that it's right where they are, right at their center all the time. Now the top state is not understanding. The top state is not knowing. The top state is being. There are so many metaphysical paths that tell you to get understanding. You'll be stood under until you let go of that concept. There's no understanding at the top. There's being. Understanding is in the realm of the world, of limitation. So the real knowing is not knowing, it's being. See how simple this whole thing is?